Hello guys, it is Shivam here. Welcome to part 3 of service booking app from the scratch with the help of Flutter. So on this video, we are going to cover stunning user interface, service categories, appointment, scheduling and many more. So do not forget to hit that like button and let's keep the like aim of 500 likes on this video. I know you will definitely do that. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any of the upcoming videos we upload on this channel. Now let's get started. But before we move forward, I want to introduce you with app crafting. So if you are looking for an app for your business, school, etc., now don't look further because we are going to make your budget friendly app from the scratch for both Android and iOS. You can contact us with our email or Instagram ID and get your first app with app crafting. Now let's move to the app. So now let's move and we'll start a second part. I think it's a third part of this service provider app. So if you haven't watched the second part of this service provider app series, I will paste a link in the description box or in the comment box. You can simply find that link and can start this tutorial because in the last video we have already added authentication for our sign up and login page. Now as I promised on this part, I'm going to teach you how to save the data locally by using the shared preference. So let's move to the pub dev because we need to add the package name shared preference and save in the pubspec.ml file. So here is our pub dev and we need to simply search a shared preference and here it is. Now we need to copy from the installing and we'll paste it over here in the pubspec.ml file, something over here, and you can simply remove the version if you are using any old version of Flutter. Now after this, let's move to the services folder and here we'll create our dart file which name will be shared pref and here we are going to write all the functions that will help us to save the data locally in our app. Now we'll write shared pref Now we'll simply pass a class name which will be shared and we'll write shared preference. So we'll write preference, yeah. Helper, and here we'll write a string static. So we'll write for static a string. Now in this shared preference, the data I'm going to store locally is first is the user unique ID, their name, their email, the image of an user, or you can say yeah. So I think so let's keep this, I think 4 or 5 items. Then in the and when we proceed with app, if there will be anything more that we need to store locally, I'm going to save in the shared preference. Now here we'll write a string name which will be user id key. Now here we'll write a string name which will be user key, yeah, and we'll do same for the option shift down, yeah. Now after this we'll do same for the name and we'll write name. The third will be email, so we'll write email like this. We'll write user email key, and the fourth one is an image, so we'll write user image. So these are the 4 strings we are going to use as of now, but let's move and we'll allow the user to save their strings on these strings that we have passed. So here we'll pass a future and we'll write a bool, yeah. Now we need to pass the name of a function which is save user id and we'll simply get the user id. So we'll write a string name which will be get user id, something like this. Now after this we'll pass a sync. Now we need to pass a shared preferences pref equals to await shared preference helper dot get instance, something like this. Get, sorry, get, okay, I made some mistake, which is shared preferences, shared preferences dot get instance. Yeah, so this is the command that we need to pass, and it will simply save this string on the shared preferences, and it will store in pref string. Now after this we'll simply return and we'll set the string by using set string command, and we'll set the string in the user id key that we have created and the value that we want to save. So we are getting the value through the get user id string. So here we can simply save this by using save user id. Now let's create three more functions for this three strings. So let's create this. You can simply add this by a music. So 1, 2, 3, start. Yeah, so we have wrote all the function to save the string. Now once we have saved the string, we need to also get the string so that we can use them in the app. Now to get that string, we need to create a function name which will be get user id. So here I'm going to pass an string, will pass a null check, and will pass a function name which will be get user id, and here we need to pass async. Now here we'll write a shared preferences, same function shared prefs prefs, what you want to say is, now we need to pass shared preferences dot get instance, and we'll simply return a string. So we need to simply pass pref, and here we don't need to pass set string, we are getting a string, so we'll write get string, and here we'll pass a string name where I need to get a string that I have saved, so it is a user id key. Now let's do same for the other one. So username key for the email, which will be email. Now here we'll pass an email, and the fourth one will be the image, so we'll write get user image and this image. So you might think that why I'm trying to store the data locally if I've already stored them in the Firestore database. But the reason, when you make this complex app or the bigger apps like this, or something like e-commerce app and many other apps, you can't call a data each time from the server, because that create a lots of problem. We need to like write a lots of code for each time we need to get the data from the server, and that will simply complex your code. And as a developer, you already know that do not complex your code, make it as simple as you can. So that's why I'm trying to save the data locally, and by just writing a save user dash, I mean id, name, email or anything, I can simply save that and through the get user dash, I can simply get all the strings. So by just writing a single line command, I can simply get all the thing. So that's the main goal why I'm trying to write a shared preference. So if I'm teaching you the app how to make it from the scratch, I can also teach you how to make your work easier as a developer. Now after this, let's move and let's first save the data in the shared preference. So let's move to the sign up page, and where we are uploading the data in the Firestore database, I will simply save the data locally. So we'll write shared preference helper dot save user email, and we'll simply write email controller.text, and we'll simply save that email. Now we'll do same for the name. So we'll write shared preference helper dot save user name, and we'll same for the name controller.text, and we'll do same for the id. So we'll write shared preference helper dot save user id. So it will be simply the id we need to pass. So this is three command that we need to pass to save the data locally. I will show you how to get a data. So just keep a patience and just follow along with me, because you are going to learn lots of things in this series. Now after this, once we have wrote a shared preference function and also save the data locally, now let me create a second part of this app, which is a service provider app, where the user can simply, not a user, a service provider can simply create that profile, and that profile will be directly shown here in the user side of the app. Now to handle that case, I will simply move to the leaf folder and will create a new folder name, which will be service provider. And here we are going to write all the code that we want to show in the service provider side. So I will create a new file name, which will be service detail dot, and we'll first import the package by using material dot, and we'll write a stateful widget, which will be service detail, yeah, something like this. Now after this, I need to simply pass, sorry, here we need to pass a scaffold body container child column, and a child, yeah. So after writing this in the service provider detail side, first I will simply show the headline of this page, which is service detail. Then in the service detail, I'm thinking to ask the service provider their image, their name, what service they are providing. So they need to select a category that we have shown over here, like cleaning, painting, laundry, repairing, and you can add some more categories if you want. Now after that, their charges they want to charge, which is an hourly charge. Now then their detail, like how they want to provide this service to the different customers. Now after this, let's do one thing. Let's pass a I think so. Let's do one thing. Let's pass first a background color. And here I'm going to use this color, something this color. Yeah, where you can see my arrow. Now after this, let's move to the home page, where I will simply copy this color. So we'll move to the home page and we'll copy this color. I don't know which exact color it is, so I'll copy this one and we'll save as our background color for this site. So let me call this page so that we can simply code by seeing that on my editor. So we'll write service detail. Service detail. What's up? Oh, it's a service. So I wrote a wrong. When you ever like wrote a wrong stateful widget name or any widget name, you can simply rename the symbol, and here it will simply change in all the places. Now I can simply write a page name, which is service detail, and here I will simply first save all, and then we'll hot restart the app. So here you can see our service detail page. Now I need to pass a text. So here I will simply write a text name which will be service detail. So this is a page name that I'm going to pass over here. Now after this I need to pass a style, the text style, the color, and it will be colors dot black, and the font family will be simply Poppins. Poppins. Now we need to pass a font size which will be simply 25.0, and I think so. I have passed a font family Poppins. Now here the reason I pass a font family Poppins is because I used to create an app where I simply paste a font name Poppins. Now if you want, you can add a font on this app by using a Google font. You can find my videos where I have made the UI where we have used the different fonts. But here on this app, I'm not going to use a font because this will make really complex for the users. So I'll use font width dot bold, something like this, and we'll simply center this by using center widget, something like this. Now I can't see the text, so let's pass some margin. So we'll write margin edge insert dot only from the top, which will be 40.0. So here now you can see the name, which is service detail. Now after this I will try something like this. Here this type of container, you can see a curved container from the top left and top right, something like this, and here we are going to show the detail. Now here to handle this case, I will simply write a container, will pass a width which will be media query dot of context dot size dot width, so that it can use a complete width of the screen. Now we'll pass a decoration, a box decoration. Now the color will be simply colors dot white. Yeah. Now after this we'll simply write a, I think so, border radius. Not over here, we need to pass a decoration. So first do one thing, we have already passed a decoration. So we pass border radius dot only from the top left. So I will simply pass from the top left, which will be radius dot circular 30, and from the top right, so which will be radius dot circular 30, something like this. Now we need to pass an expanded widget so that it can take a complete width of, not width, a height of the screen, and it will be like an the, so here you can see the container, and it will be like an responsive app. You don't need to pass a fixed height over here, and here you can increase border radius. Let's keep it up to 60 and 60, something like this. We can pass a spacing which will be size box height. Let's pass up to 30.0, something like this, or keep it up to 20, and if you want you can pass some more margin from the top, which will be 50. Yeah. Now after this, as I've told you that we are first going to show the image, not show the, we'll tell the service provider to upload their image. So we'll write a child over here, we'll pass a column widget, pass a children. Now here we'll pass a container. Now after this container we'll pass a height which will be 200, and the width will be 200. Now the decoration, which will be simply box decoration. Now let's do one thing. First pass an icon which will be child icon, and the icon will be simply icons dot camera alt outline. So this is the icon that we are going to use. Now here I will use a size, and will increase the size of this icon, which will be size 30.0. Now after this I will simply write border, and will simply pass border dot all. Yeah. So here you can see the container, but if you want you can decrease a size up to 150 and 150, something like this. Now here we need to pass a size box from the top, which will be size box height, and will pass 30.0. So here it is. Now we can pass a color which will be colors dot black 30 45. Let's keep it 45. We can increase a width, which will be 2.0, and a border radius. So here we need to pass a border radius, which will be border radius dot circular. Let's keep it up to 20. So this is the container we have created. So when the user will tap to this camera icon, our phone gallery or a camera icon will be open, where they can simply choose an image and the image will be shown over here. I will show you how to handle that case. So after this, there will be some text field. Now the text field, where first we need to get a service provider accurate name. Let's move, and as I've told you that there will be some text field, so that the service provider can first provide their name, their hourly charges, the detail about the service they want to provide, etc. Now after this, I will simply pass the size box and will pass the height up to 20.0. Now after this, I will create a text field. So to do that, I will simply pass an container. Now we need to pass an padding. So we'll simply pass the padding as in set dot only, not from only. We need to provide from symmetric, from the horizontal direction, and we'll pass simply 20.0. Now after the padding is passed, we need to pass a width, which will be simply media query dot of context dot size dot width. Now here comes a decoration, which will be a box decoration, and here I need to simply pass the color, and by passing the color I will use the random color code, not a random color code, the color code I have selected. Now I'll pass a color, and will pass a color, and will write 0xFF and a color code that I'm going to use, which is ECF8. So this is the color code I'm thinking to use for this text field. Now after this, we can simply pass the border radius, which will be border radius dot circular 10. Yeah. Now after this, we need to pass a child, a text field. In the text field, we'll simply pass a decoration and a input decoration. Now here we need to pass, so here you can see the text field that I have wrote the code just inside the container. Now in this text field, you can see that this line. Now to remove this line, you can simply pass border input border dot none, and it will remove this line from this text field. Now after this, I can simply pass the hint text, which will be directly shown on this text field. So here first I will tell the service provider to enter their service name, not their service name, their name, like what is their original name. So I will tell them to enter their name. So I will simply write enter name. Now here you can see the text enter name. Now if you want, you can simply pass the hint style to this hint text. So we'll use hint style, text style, now the font size. But before that, let's pass the color. So we'll write colors dot black, and now we'll pass a font size, which will be 20.0, and font weight will be bold. Yeah, something like this. So here you can see the text now let's do one thing. If you want, you can decrease the font size up to 18, and we can simply pass a margin. So rather than passing a margin over here, I will simply pass the margin, which will be left. I think so we can't pass a margin, otherwise it will show the container in the different shape and it will not look good. So I will simply pass the padding as in set dot only from the left, which will be 20.0, from the right, which will be simply 20.0. So here it is. Now if you want, you can pass up to 30 and 30. Yeah. Now after this, let's do one thing. Now let's pass also a, not a command, or you can say a title for this text field. So I will simply copy one text widget and will simply paste it over here, something over here. Let's pass it over here. Yeah. Now after this, I will simply use a cross axis alignment dot start, something like this. Now we need to center this, so I will wrap up with a center widget. Now here service detail, and we can simply lower down the font size up to 20, or let's keep it up to 22. Now here we'll simply write service name, service provider name. Yeah. let's do up to 20, and I think so it's okay. Now we can simply copy this size box, or we can increase the size box height up to 40.0, and also we'll copy this size box, we'll paste it over here, and we'll pass up to 20, something like this, or let's keep it up to 10. Yeah, so here it's wrote service provider name, enter name. Now let's do W500 rather than bold. Yeah, so here it is. Now enter name. Now here the service provider can simply enter their name. So I will write Ayush Gupta. Yeah, something like this. After this, once they enter their name, uh, let's do one thing. Let's pass the color blue over here. It's up to your choice, like what color you want to use to make your app really attractive. Now here I passed the color to this text. Now let's pass some more text widget and the text field. So after this, we'll copy this container and the text field, we'll simply paste it over here, and here I will simply rename the text to what we will write. First we will write a hourly charges, so we'll write hourly charges. Yeah, and we'll tell to enter the charges, hourly charges, hourly charge. Yeah, charges, let hourly charge. Yeah, so service provider name, hourly charge, and here one thing I'm going to do is that here I will show the drop down button, from where the drop down button we are going to show the service that we have shown in the app. Now to show that service, I need to create a drop down, and the service providers will simply select the specific service that they want to provide from the drop down. So here I will move and will simply write a string, first a value, and in this string I am going to store that the service that the user, not a user, service provider. If I'm saying user, then think that I'm talking about service provider. Then the service provider can simply select. Now I will simply create a list over here where I will store all my service that I want to show in the app. Now here I will write a list, and all the list, I will write list string over here, and here I will simply name the list to our service. So we simply write service, something like this, and we'll pass square bracket. Now I will simply pass a string. So here I have wrote string, that's why I'm going to pass string in this list. So here first one, I think so it's laundry, so let's pass laundry. Now after that, let's pass cleaning, so we'll write cleaning, and I think so the third one was, let me check, I don't remind, cleaning, painting, laundry, and repairing. So painting and repairing, these two things. So painting and repairing, we'll write painting, and a repairing, we'll write repairing. Yeah, so this is the four service that we want to show in the app. Now let's move over here, and just below this hourly charge I will move to the column widget again, and will simply pass an container. So here I will simply write a container. Now I'll simply pass the padding, edge inset dot only, not, let's pass is symmetric, horizontal 10.0, and here we need to pass a width, which will be simply media query dot of context dot size dot width. Yeah, now after this we'll simply pass a decoration, a box decoration, and here I'm going to use the color code that we have passed just above on this text field, so which is 0xff. We'll write ECF8. So this is the color code I'm going to use. Now we need to simply pass a border radius, and a border radius dot circular, which will be simply 10. Now after this I will simply pass in child in this container. Now if you have followed my old series, then you already know how to create this drop down button. But if you are new, then do not need to worry, I will show you how to create a drop down button. So I will simply write drop down button, and here we are going to pass a string, so that's why I'm writing string over here. Now after this, here I will simply pass an items, and here we'll write our list name, which is service. Now after the service, I will simply write dot map, and here I'm going to pass the item name that we want to show, and here I will simply pass drop down menu item, drop down menu item, something like this. Now in this child I'm going to pass a text widget, that the text of all the service that we have stored in the service list will be directly shown over here in the form list view. So the user can simply scroll if there are like lots of service you want to add in this app. Now we'll simply pass a text, and in this text I'm going to show that item. Now here after this I will simply pass a style and a text style. Now text style. Now in this text style I will simply pass a font size which will be 18.0, and a color will be simply colors.black. Yeah, something like this. Now here it is. Now you can see that there is some error showing over here because we need to convert this drop down menu button to list, because as I've told you that it will be shown in the form of the list. So I will do one thing, like I will simply write dot to list. Yeah, after this we need to pass an value over here. So here I will simply pass a value in this drop down button. So we'll write value, and here I need to pass an item, something like this. So here it is. Now after this, here it says that we need to also pass on change property. So the on change property will do like once the user have selected any of the service from that list, then we need to simply update the value. So that's why I wrote this string name value over here. So here we need to pass an on change. So we'll write an on change, not over here. We need to pass it over here, on change, and here we need to pass the value that we want to store. So here I'm going to pass the value. Now the value is in the form of the string, and we need to pass a set state so that we can simply refresh once the value is passed. So we'll write value, this dot value, sorry, this dot value is equals to value. Yeah, something like this. So here it is. Now after this I will simply pass a drop down color, and a drop down color which will be simply colors dot white, and a hint text, the hint that we want to show simply over here. So we'll pass a text, and we'll pass select category. So here you can see the list drop down that we have created. Let's pass the size box height, which will be simply 30.0. So this is the list that we have created. Now when I'll tap to this, you can simply see that the service that we have passed, which is laundry, cleaning, painting, repairing. So the user can simply select painting. So here the value won't update because we haven't passed the value that once it get updated. So we'll simply pass a value, and we'll write a value, something like this. So here now it shows painting. Now after this, here you can simply pass a icon size which will be like 36, and now let's pass the icon to, which will be icon, and we'll pass the icon, and icon will be simply icons dot drop down, I think so, drop down, yeah, and the color will be simply colors dot black, something like this. So here it is. Now after this we can do one thing. You will see that there is a line, I think so, you can see that there is a line, a very minor line, but it doesn't look good on this text field, not a text field, a drop down container. So to remove this, you need to simply wrap up the drop down button with a widget name, which will be like a drop down button hide underline. So we'll write drop down button hide underline, and it will simply hide this underline. And now we can simply select any of the service that the user or service provider want to provide. Now here I can simply show the headline for this, and we'll simply paste and we'll write select categories. Select categories, something like this. So here it is done. Now the user can simply select their, enter their provider name, their hourly charge, they can select a category, and now the service they want to provide, so they can simply write a detail of the service they want to provide. Now after this I will simply copy the this complete thing and will paste it over here. So we rename the text to like, so how you want to provide this service. So they need to simply enter their service detail that they want to provide. So here I've wrote that, so how you want to provide this service, and here we'll simply write that, write a short description, write a short write a short description, something like this. So here it is, and you can see that there is just only a one text field. So the description will be something like, the user need to write in like 6 to 5 lines. So to increase this size of this text field, I will simply pass a max lines, and here I will pass a max lines up to 6, and it will simply increase this text field size. But we need to pass a scroll, single child scroll view, so that the user can simply scroll this and can enter all the text field without any problem. So we'll wrap up the column widget with a widget name, which will be single child scroll view, something like this. Now they can simply scroll and can enter all this details. Now once they fill all this detail, I want to simply submit this detail to the Firestore database, and here I will create a button name which will be submit, and to do that I will simply pass an container, will pass a width which will be media query dot of context dot size dot width divide by 2, and here I need to pass a text, so we'll pass a child, a text field. So we need to copy the text field, not a text field, a text widget, and we'll simply paste it over here, and we'll rename the text to submit. Yeah, something like this. So here you can see the text, but let's pass the color. So we'll pass a color, decoration, box decoration, and let's copy this color that we have passed in the background color. So we'll copy this color and we'll simply paste it over here. Right color, we'll paste this color over here. So here you can see the text. Now we'll simply change the text color to black, and we'll simply center by using the center widget. So here it is. Now we can simply pass a size box, so that I can pass a space. We can center this. Let's also pass the height. Let's keep 60. So here it is, a submit text. Here we'll pass a border radius, and if you want you can pass an elevation, a border radius, yeah, so something like this. Now we need to also pass the space from the bottom. So again I will copy the size box, will paste it over here. Let's pass up to 50. So here it looks good. Now the user can simply enter this form and can directly start to get the order for their service. Now let's add the backend, because we have just made a front end of this page. So first we need to use an image picker, so that we can pick the image from the phone gallery. Let's move to the perf dev, and we need to copy some of the packages to pick the image, and the picked image will upload that image to the Firebase storage So to store that image, we need to use a Firebase storage. So let's move to the pub dev, and here you can see the pub dev, and we'll simply write image picker. Pick, yeah. Now image picker. Now move to the installing and copy this dependency, and we'll simply paste it in the perspec.ml file, something like this. Now remove this version and simply run this. Now the second one, which will be Firebase storage. So we'll write Firebase storage. Firebase storage. Now move to the installing, and we'll copy this Firebase storage and we'll simply paste it over here and remove this version also. So here you can see the image picker and the Firebase storage. Now after running this package, it has run successfully. Now let's move to the service detail page back again, and here I need to write the code to pick the image from the phone gallery. Now here I will write final image picker equals to image picker, and a string will be an id. I'm using a string id because I need to pass a unique id to the each image that we are going to upload. And here I need to do one thing. I need to pass a file where we need to store the selected image. So we'll write selected image. Let's call this file, and after this let's pass a function to pick the image, and we need to write a function name which will be get image. So here I will simply write a future, and future will pass a get image, which will be a function name, and will pass async var image is equals to await. Now we'll pass picker dot get image. Get image, sorry, pick image. The source will be image source dot, need to pass it from the gallery. But if you want the user to pick their own image by just clicking the picture from the camera for the verification purpose, you can also select a camera. So I'm going to choose gallery over here. Now after this, we'll pass the selected image, and here we'll store the image that has been picked, which will be image dot path. Sorry, not this image dot path, something like this. You need to pass a null check, set state. Yeah, so this is the function we have wrote to pick the image. Now we need to simply pass this image to this container, not an image, a function. So when the user will tap to this container, the get image function will be called to pick the image. Let's move, and here we need to wrap up with a gesture detector first, and we'll pass on tap, and here we need to simply pass a function name which will be get image. Yeah, something like this, and a set state. No, don't pass a set state. So once the image has been picked, I want to show that picked image over here. Now the selected image is not equals to null. That means that if the user have already picked the image and the picked image is in the selected image file, so we need to show that image. So here I will do one thing. I will copy this center widget and will paste it over here, something like this. And here I need to pass, like in the icon we can pass image dot file, and we need to show the selected image. So I will rename this to selected image, and here we need to pass fit boxfit dot cover. Yeah, something like this. So the picked image will be directly shown over here. Now let's pass the text editing controller to handle the text on this text field. So we'll pass a text editing controller, name controller equals to new text editing controller, and we'll do same for the charges and the service. So we'll write charges and the description. Yeah, so these are the three text field that we need to pass. Not a text field, a text editing controller. So we'll pass a controller and a name controller, a controller and the hourly charges. So we'll write charges controller and the description controller. So we'll write controller and the description controller. Yeah, so this is the text field, that text editing controller that we need to pass. After this, once the user have filled all this form, uh, when they press to this submit button, so we'll need to pass a gesture detector, and in the on tab we'll pass that if the selected image is not equals to null, it means that the user have already selected the image and they have filled all the text field. So you can simply pass name controller text should not be equals to space our same for the hourly charges. Sorry, charges controller text should not be equals to space, and same for the description, something like this. Now once you have passed this case and it is true, then we'll directly move here, and the work so the first work we need to do is that, so the picked image should be uploaded to the Firebase storage. So let's move and upload that picked image to the Firebase storage. So let me see if I've enabled the Firebase storage from the Firestore database, because we need to enable the Firebase storage from there. So let's move to the Firebase first. So let's move to the Firebase storage. So here, when you move to the Firebase storage, according to the new rules of Firebase, now to upload the data on the Firebase storage, such as images, videos, or any PDF files or anything, you need to upgrade the plan to the Blaze plan. So it's not free now, because according to the new rules of Firebase, if you want to store anything on the Firebase storage, you need to upgrade the plan from Spark to a Blaze plan. So Spark is a free plan, but Blaze plan is something you need to simply get it. So I think so. The Firebase, once it was launched like 4 to 5 years back, it was free, but nowadays the Firebase demand has been increased. So Firebase is of Google. So Google thought that let's earn some money by adding this Blaze plan, and let's not keep it free. So it's their way, their own company, and how they want to handle the things. So if you want to now upload the data to the Firebase storage, you can change the Spark plan to a Blaze plan. But Blaze plan is also not like very close costly for you. If you are making this project for your like resume, or you want to show in your classrooms or anything, then you can upgrade the plan, because this is a professional work that if you want to do. And I will recommend, if you really looking for the Firebase as a backend, because this is the best backend that I used to work from like 4 to 5 years, but now they have brought this update. So the Blaze plan is not very costly or something. You just need to add your card, and it just you just need to pay according to the usage of Firebase. So it is not a fixed subscription like a $20 or $30. You just need to pay according to the use of the Firebase. Like if the usage of the Firebase is more, then you need to pay something. But if you use Firebase just for your own purpose or your resume, I don't think so you need to pay more than $1 in a month. I think so less than a $1 in a month you can also get this billing account. I'm in the Blaze plan. So you can simply connect your card and can use this Blaze plan. So now let's move to the project, and here I will show you how to connect a Firebase storage and how to upload the data to the Firebase storage if you have got a Blaze plan. But if you haven't, there is something I'm thinking, like just to make this project work and everything, I will provide you one link of my Firebase storage image. So you can use that link and can add in your app and can use that. but that is only a single image link. So I will provide that in the description box. So I will show you first how to upload the data to the Firebase storage. So I will write a string and will write add id, and here I will simply create a random alphanumeric 10, which is a random 10 digit character. Now we'll write a reference. We'll write a reference. Now here we need to pass a Firebase storage storage ref is equals to Firebase storage dot instance dot, and here we need to write ref dot child and a blog image something like this dot child, and here we need to pass an add id something like this. Yeah, so here it is, and this is a string add id where I'm going to pass a random character. Now let's move to the Firebase storage. I know that it has changed from Spark plan to a Blaze plan, but I have my Blaze plan in my account. So when I'll move to the Firebase, here you can see that there it shows that this is the blog image. So here we have wrote a blog image. So where I've wrote a blog image, yeah, so here you can see we have wrote a blog image. So it will simply create something like this folder named blog image, and in this blog image we are going to store one images after the another that we are going to upload over here. And here just move to the rules in the storage section and simply change the rules from false to true, otherwise you won't upload the date image to the Firebase storage. So this is the two things that I want to talk about. And now after this we'll simply pass a final upload task, and a task is equals to Firebase storage ref dot put file, and put file will simply upload the selected image, which is our file name. So we'll write selected image where we have stored the image file, not a file name. Now after this we'll pass var download url1 is equals to await. We need to pass async await, and here await task dot ref dot get download url, and it will simply store this url over here. Now I can simply use this url by using a map. So we'll write a map, a string dynamic. Now you know the use of map because I've already explained you in the last part, I think so. Now we'll write add info, which is our map name. After this I need to simply store the image first. So here if you are using the Firebase storage, you can simply pass a download url1 if you have changed the plan from Spark to Blaze. But if you don't have any plan, I will give you one link, HTTP link, to get an image, and you can simply use that image also. Or don't use a Firebase storage if you don't want to use it. You can simply use one pixel website image link also. Yeah, so I paste one pixel link image, which is this image that I'm going to use. This is I'm just doing in that case if you want to show this image to your, not show this image, show this project to your resume. If you are making this project for your resume and you want to simply show this project in your school or anything, in your, not in your school, in your college, or for your job profile or anything, then I am going to use this image. But if you want to use this service provider app for your business, or like you want to really run this app in the Play Store and App Store, you need to use a Firebase storage, because you can't simply use a specific image for the user that the user going to upload over here. So you need to use the image that the user going to upload by using this camera icon. I think so you are getting what I'm trying to say. So this is the fixed image that have been stored over here, and it will directly upload it to the files to database. This I'm just doing that because if you don't want to upgrade your Firebase plan from Spark to Blaze, then this is the short thing you can do for now to run this project. But if you want to really run the app in the Play Store and the Google Play Store, you need to use the Firebase storage and the image that have been uploaded by the user over here. So after this, let's do one thing. We need to pass a category for the service that the user have selected. So we need to pass a value over here, and here the hourly charge. So we'll write hourly charge, and we need to pass charges controller.text and the name of an service provider. So we'll write name controller.text and the description. So we'll write disk and we'll write description controller.text. So here it is, and we have added this four strings over here. Now after this, let's do one thing. Let's call the command so that we can upload this data to the files to database. So let's move to the database.dart file, and here I will simply copy this command and will paste it over here, and we'll write add service provider, add service provide. Now we need to simply change the collection name to service provider. Yeah, so here it is done, and let's move over here. We need to pass await database methods dot add service provider, and we need to pass a map name which is simply add info and the unique id. So what is our unique id? Is the add id. So we'll write add id is the unique id dot then, and here we need to pass some like toast message to show that the data that the service provider trying to submit has been submitted successfully. Now to show that, let's copy the snack bar. So we'll copy this and we'll paste it over here. So it's a green light. So we are using green light. You know red light, green light if you have watched my last part. Now after this, we need to write a text name which will be details, yeah, uploaded successfully. Yeah, so this is the green light that we want to pass. Details uploaded successfully. Now let's test it. So let's hot restart this again. Now if you have added the new dependencies in the perspec.ml file, then hot restart won't work over here. It will simply show that the dependency you have added in the perspec.ml file they can't read. So you need to simply rerun the app again. So let me rerun the app again, and I will get you back in few seconds. So now as you can see, our app is launched successfully. Now I'll simply select the image while tapping here, and will select photos, and I'll select some random image over here. So as you can see, our image picker is working brilliantly, and we can simply pick the image from our phone gallery. Now if you want, you can provide the border radius to this image by simply wrapping up with a clip react widget. So I will move something over here, and will simply wrap a image.file with a widget name which will be clip react, and will pass a border radius which will be border radius dot circular, and will pass simply 10, something like this. Now here I need to simply enter the service provider name. So I will write Ayush Gupta, yeah, and here the hourly charge, let's pass 23, and laundry and a description. So we'll write I want to provide a service laundry doing this last 3 years. I will provide all the materials that needed for laundry. That's all. Now when I click to the submit button, here you can see that if you are not using the Firebase storage, then simply remove this function from your gesture detector. Otherwise it will simply throw the error that the Firebase storage is not upgraded or anything. So you can simply remove this code from here, and here when I click to this submit button, you will see that so green signal, details uploaded successfully. So yeah, our data has been uploaded to the Firestore database. Now let's check to the Firestore database, and we'll move to the Firestore database, and here you will see the collection name service provider that we have added. So here you can see a service provider collection, a unique ID. So here the laundry, the description that I've just wrote now, the hourly charge, and this is the image you can see here. So when you will simply try to open this image, something like this, go to here. So it will simply open the pixel image that has been shown here. So here you can also use the image like this and the name Ayush Gupta. So here it is, and we have uploaded the data to the Firestore database, and this is it from this part. And in the next part I will show you how to show this all the service provider details in the user side of the app they are simply looking for. And I hope that you have subscribed that button and you are waiting for the some more videos on this part. So if you haven't, hit that subscribe button now, because 80% of you are loving our videos but haven't hit that subscribe button yet. So it's totally free, though Firebase needs some plan, but hitting that subscribe button is doesn't require any plan. It's totally free, so you can hit that subscribe button, and let's be a part of our Flutter family, and hit that like button too, so that you can show your support by hitting that like and subscribe button. Until then, keep coding, keep having fun. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.